Most people don't think they would use a 3D printer very often, but those who do own one find themselves using it constantly, whether it's fixing something around the house or creating something entirely new. Imagine you broke the handle off of a drawer in your kitchen. Rather than ordering a new one and waiting days for it to arrive, you could print one, which is cheaper and faster. I have personal experience in 3D printing. I've owned a 3D printer of my own for over 2 years. I've visited colleges to see advanced setups, and I set up the school's printer and taught people how to use it. Today, I'll be covering how these machines work, what they can be used for, and how they've evolved over time, as well as highlighting the components that compose them. Virtually anything can be made on a 3D printer, even houses, but today I'll be focusing on the types found in offices or classrooms. One great thing about 3D printing is the variety of uses. Whether you use them for prototyping, manufacturing, healthcare, aerospace, or automotive, those are the top 5 uses according to 3dprinted.org. Different materials can be utilized for different use cases. For instance, TPU is soft and flexible, while PETG is very rigid and sturdy. They can be used for prototyping. Inventors and designers use them for prototyping a lot, making proofs of concept before the final production. 3D Source says that 3D printing saves time and money in prototyping. Design and create. Whether you're designing something and creating it that never existed, or aren't sold separately or have been discontinued, you can use 3D printing to make your own parts. Now that we know what they do, let's cover how they do it. To understand the function, you'll need to familiarize yourself with the components. This is the print bed, which is the base that the model sticks to. It is heated up. It's usually heated up to stop the warping effect that's caused by the plastic cooling too quickly. The next is the filament and the extruder. This is how the raw plastic material comes in a spool of filament, and then this extruder pulls in the filament, melts it, and pushes it through the nozzle either onto the print bed or onto your model. This is a picture of the 3D printer I have, and I'm going to use it to show you the frame motion system. These worm gears lift the extruder and can move it on the X, Y, and Z axis, which is what makes it three-dimensional. Like any tech, it needs a brain. Complex control systems like this read the digital instructions and tell each part of the printer what to do, which allows it to build models seemingly out of thin air. 3D printers might seem complicated, but they're actually quite simple in concept. Everything starts with a 3D model. You can design a model on your own or download a model from a website such as printables.com or thingiverse.com. You run it through a slicer, which converts it into a G-code that a printer can read. This is a picture of a slicer window and all the layers. A YouTube video by Teaching Tech says, the job of a slicer is to take a 3D model and slice it into a stack of vertical layers. For each of those layers, its job is to then create a G-code to then deposit plastic in the correct shapes. The G-code tells the printer to follow the instructions, moving on all 3 axes and laying one layer at a time, and as they stack up, it will create the model. This technology might seem modern or even futuristic, but it's been around for quite some time now. The first technology was developed by Chuck Hall in 1984, and the first printer shown here, the SLA-1, was released in 1987, but it was costly and mainly used in an industrial setting. In their article, The Complete History of 3D Printing on 3dsource.com, open source 3D printers became available after the patents for this original printer expired in the 2000s and 2010s. The technology for 3D printing has advanced quickly in the last decade, and they're now able to handle different materials such as metal, carbon fiber, or even concrete. Some construction companies are even using large-scale 3D printers to build houses or other buildings. What started as a very niche technology has now become almost standard in schools across the nation and in many houses. Today you learned how 3D printers work, what the parts are, how they came to be, and their uses. Basic household components to advanced prototypes for billion-dollar companies. 3D printing will continue to improve over the coming years. Many people use 3D printers as a tool to bring their ideas to life. After learning about them today, you might consider getting one for your own use.